We're walking on the edge of sounding like some two assholes in a fucking coffee shop. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Or dreads hanging from our face. You walk into the shop and like, ugh.
Why is it that whatever a human being does, it somehow becomes douchier when it's done in a coffee shop? If we were having this conversation in a McDonald's, maybe we're like two sensible human beings. But since it's in a coffee shop, it's pretentious. Why is that? You're listening to the Double D's podcast.
I'm Dom.
I'm D.respect.
He's got a great set of tits.
I get so angry thinking about this kid.
Because that's what most people are bitching about.
I'm from New York. You know what I mean? We like to eat out here. You know?
You gotta stop looking at interacting with people online as a cheap date. My father used to drink.
Get the fuck away from me. I'm done.
I come a lot, by the way.
You're going to do the rap stuff.
If you didn't say it, somebody in the comment section would have said it.
It's like how you feel when you're having a paranoid high.
That's a dynamic connection right there. Hello.
Hey, I just saw your girl. I told her my dick was sore, like a Bulbasaur, because she a Pokemon. Get it?
No, I don't.
I was trying to drop some bars on you.
Trying to drop some bars? You trying to...
I wish I could rap. That would be cool, man. Like if I were really good.
I could imagine you as a rapper.
Really?
I couldn't.
If I were, I would be like either like some Hellfire Club shit or one of those guys who's that's who I would be. I'd be one of those guys who's like it's just weird. It's like it's good, but like you have no idea what I'm talking about usually.
I know what it would be like. Your album cover would be you standing next to, I don't know, you'd be standing next to a bush and you got your hands in your pockets and you're taking that fucking,
so what?
No,
So
that
like
stupid stance that I hate.
Yeah, like so what? Like looking down into the right?
No, it's not looking down to the right. You could be looking straight at the camera, but it's just, your hands are up against your thighs and your feet are close together. And
you know what? You're absolutely wrong. You know what it would be?
It would be your album cover.
My first album would be called Dom and His White Girls. As much as I hate that meme, it would be called Dom and His White Girls, and it would be me sitting on a pile of bodies of white women or mannequins, just limp, like sort of like those Kanye ladies, just limp bodies, and I'm sitting on a mountain of them.
White women that you've killed?
I don't know if they're dead or if they're just like mannequins. Probably mannequins would be better. I don't want to go to jail for like weird art, but like if I had fuck you money though, they would be like a bunch of demonic like white lady figures. That would be cool. But anyway, I'd be sitting on a pile of them, and I would just be laying there like something out of World of Warcraft, like staring at the camera.
And no one would buy the album.
All right.
No one would fucking buy the album. Absolutely no one.
I almost spit. That was the sound of me trying not to spit out my tea.
Dom is sick this week, but he's here.
I'm here. I show up. Yeah. Unlike this Monday when I didn't put a video, I feel bad, man.
You feel bad because you didn't do a video.
Yeah, it like as much shit as I talk about, like put something out there. Like it would have been dumb. It would have been something just, you have those weeks where you're just like, eh.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't put any thought into it. Just put it out, dude. Just give him the burger. Just give him the burger.
The burger. It's like here. I feel bad, but it's like. Somehow, unlike my diet, unlike working out, me missing a week. But the thing is, though, I put out 3 videos a week, including the live draw. So random video, like some shit, live draw, Dom Diggs. That's 3 videos a week. I'm gonna put out this week. I get Dom Diggs and live draw. So like that's what do you call it? 66% out of 100. That's 2 out of 3. What the fuck? Yeah, so I'm 2 out of 3 basically for the week. But unlike my diet, missing a week doesn't make me feel like I'm never gonna do it again, and I might as well give up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like with my diet, it's like I go over my carb limit for the day. I have 1 cookie, and then I say, Go ahead and order Chinese. Order 3 burritos. Go. Do it. You're a piece of shit.
You hate yourself anyway. Just go ahead and order it.
Yeah, and it's all just to get me to have that food high, I guess. Which doesn't even feel that great when you have those cheat days. It's in comparison to feeling pretty good and having a good healthy diet. It's that short-term release, I guess.
But it just takes so much effort to eat good.
It really does.
If it didn't take so much effort to eat good, a lot more people would eat better. It just takes so much preparation. It takes so much planning to eat properly for even a week. Even if it was a week. I mean, you might slip up once or twice, but if you wanted to eat properly for a week, it takes a lot of thought.
Yeah. For me, it's when I get home from work, like I can be very strong from when I get up to when I get home from work. When I get home from work, that's crunch time. Like that's when I'm gonna go over my portion size, or I'm just gonna say fuck it, go ahead, go to the store and get like a little tiny thing or something. And I guess it's because you're so tired from the day.
Well, you said that you're always tired. See, I don't experience this tiredness that you're speaking of. I'm
working on it, man. I'm working on trying to find.
Well, this has something to do with the apnea, obviously.
Yeah.
Faggot.
Yeah, definitely. But
Tom has apnea.
Yeah.
It's linked to homosexuality somehow.
I was gonna say I don't know how that's linked, but okay.
It's
sure.
linked. It is. Look it up. It's there somewhere on the internet. On the internet, because I constantly get assholes who are always telling me how the products that I'm trying to sell to them are useless because they've read it on some person's blog. It's like, dude, if you look into something long enough, you're gonna find counter arguments to everything. Just try the fucking thing, or just get out of the store. Just try it. He said, she said. There's too much information, dude. Just try the product. We have a great return policy. Guess what? If you don't like it, you have 30 days to bring it back. Just spend the money and try it. Get out of your fucking head.
Yeah, but what if, like, I'm just saying, you know, this site, Men's Health, told me it's not worth it. I mean, so why should I put this in my body?
Listen, guy, you're 60 pounds overweight. What are you, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
You look terrible. You look terrible. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
Try the product or get out of the store. Those are your options.
Yeah, I know you said that, but I'm just gonna fucking grab you.
I saw a video 2 days ago of some guy, and of course you see videos like this all over the internet. I saw this video of 2 guys in a kitchen, and one guy owed the other guy money. A white guy owed a black guy money, and the white guy was like, "Oh, I don't have it. I have to go to the hospital. My mother's in the hospital." And black guy was looking at the phone. He was like, "Oh, your mother's in the hospital? That's crazy." Then all of a sudden, he just raises his left hand and just slaps the shit out of the guy. The guy falls to the ground, and he's like, "Give me my money. I ain't playing." And he's like beating the shit out of him, and then he drags him out of his apartment. And it's like, have you ever watched one of these videos and you've thought about...
Is this World Star or Burger King commercial?
This was on... No, I'll tell you about that Burger King commercial.
Oh, I was like, damn, this Burger King commercial's harsh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No. Have you ever watched... Yeah, this was a World Star video. Have you ever watched a video where, say, it was 2 friends fighting, and these didn't seem like friends. This maybe seemed like a junkie talking to the drug dealer. Have you ever seen a video where it seems like it's 2 friends, and everything goes south, and someone ends up beating the shit out of another person? But yet you have about 4 or 5 people in the room. This is in a house, not in a club or a bar, and somebody's holding the camera watching this happen. Have you ever thought about the fucked up dynamics that are going on within those groups? That there's 5 people there, but no one says, "Hey guys, how about we just chill the fuck out?"
I was just thinking,
and you just leave.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because you mentioned that. I mean, these guys are having a discussion. Someone's talking about his mom being sick, and I'm like, who's filming it? That's the first thing I thought about. Like, how are we privy to this? So did the guy tell the other guy in advance, I'm gonna go beat the shit out of him, you start recording?
That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's the way these things always work. Hey, turn on the camera. Dom owes me my money. I'm gonna go fuck his ass up right now.
That's how it has to be. And this is one of those things, like, we were just watching some shitty Ty Dolla $ign freestyle, and I was like, the first line, the whole thing is about him. He's talking about how he likes to get his dick sucked, and his whole freestyle is about pussy or something. And I know this is gonna be very contradictory because I think a lot of the rappers whose work I enjoy, like, they don't. A lot of their material isn't really deep. I don't think they're trying to promote any sort of positivity in the world, and it's a lot of materialism and that sort of thing. But we were talking about how that sort of, if you're listening to that sort of stuff religiously, I mean, you may not be looking for enlightenment or any sort of positivity. Just like, I mean, so I bring this up because you mentioned, do you ever wonder like what the context is for these videos? And I don't even know that that's relevant. I think it's like, if you're gonna record anyone getting their ass beat, it was done already. Like, they weren't going to. We might as well not even have a discussion about why they're doing it, because they're there already. I think they're too far gone. They're not thinking about consequences or how they've gotten to this point.
Right. I just can't picture myself in a scenario where I'm watching two people, you know, in a house situation, and I don't go to house parties. I don't do any of that stuff. Maybe get-togethers, if anything. I'm too old for house parties. So I could never picture myself in a scenario where I'm going to watch this just unfold and stand there and record it. I just can't picture myself doing it.
But you're not that. This is like, again, you're using. I'm gonna put it into computer terms. You're using a fucking PC to try and understand what a Mac is thinking right now. Like, it's like a completely different operating system. It's not the. Like, you just can't do it. It's like trying to open an MPEG in Microsoft Word.
Right.
Like, it's just not gonna work. So I mean, but where do we go from there though? Like, is that even the fact that I'm using that argument? Does that get us anywhere? The fact that we're like, I don't fucking understand it. Should we try to? It's
a bit dismissive.
It is.
It's a bit dismissive, but I mean,
but it's true too, right? I mean, unless, because to try to understand it, we're gonna get into this discussion where it's like, what kind of environments did these people grow up in? Okay, their parents were never around. Is that it? These people grew up in an environment where violence is considered entertainment to them because they were all beaten as children or something like that. Maybe there was a history, like, it's just in their community being abused is funny. Like seeing. And, like, maybe they see people get shot or something, and it's like, well, you see, it's already that already feels like too much to me. Doing all that reaching and trying to figure out. I guess
maybe if you've been so desensitized to violence in your neighborhood, a lot of times you'll also see videos of people just fighting outside and just slapboxing that eventually escalates into a physical altercation, and somebody will get knocked the fuck out, and nobody reacts to it in this very overwhelming way because they've been so used to seeing it. So maybe watching one guy knock another guy out is sort of just like watching a football game to some of these people. They've just seen so much of it that it's just another thing. It just becomes just another day.
I think that makes sense, man, because there were a good amount of fights in my high school, like maybe there was probably one a week, one every 2 weeks or something. I'll be generous.
I think you told me you witnessed somebody get knocked out, and when we mean knocked out, we mean a person who loses all control of their whole body. They just go unconscious, and their body just sort of takes that linguini form, and they just collapse. I saw that one time walking to the metro.
I saw it a few times in my life. Now that I think about it, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? One time I saw it at Target. Oh God, this was rough. The area I grew up in, there are much worse areas, but it was kind of rough, man. There was like a drive-by on my street years ago. Like, I remember I was playing Team Fortress 2, a first-person shooter, and I remember I was playing the Scout. For those of you who played the game, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm running around shooting, and I heard a series of explosions outside, like, blah, 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 and it sounded like gunshots. But I was like, it sounds like fireworks, but it wasn't July. And my family upstairs, they were like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell was that? We were looking around outside, and I was like, nothing. But, like, we found out later on that it was a couple of dudes going to see some guys were going to go see the DC United game, and they were walking to the metro, and, like, some dudes came up in a car and just, like, fucking shot them, took their shit.
They were on their way to a soccer game?
Yeah, man.
A soccer game?
Yeah, dude.
I'm sorry, that was the most interesting part of the story for me, that somebody was going to go watch a soccer game. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? They were like...
It's soccer.
They were like Guatemalan.
You deserve to be shot.
They were Salvadorian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's what you thought they were Americans?
Yeah, I thought they were Americans, and then we're as a group on their way to go see DC United. That's strange.
Yeah, but
stranger than to drive-by, I guess.
But yeah, and weirdly enough, like. Less than 100 yards from that same spot is where I saw some dude get slugged by like 5 other guys. They just walked up to him and he just like, I was walking up to the metro and they just fucking slugged this guy. I think there was some sort of past between those two. But anyway, in high school, I don't quite remember if I ever saw someone get knocked out. Did I say that? I wish I remembered who it was. I can't remember, but...
Maybe it was Julio.
I wish it was.
Julio ever get violent with anybody?
He was one of those guys where I think he wanted people to think that he could get violent. He was one of those guys where he was on that cusp. Like, he could have... I think he could have become violent, but he never really did. I mean, he never did... He would try to towards me, but I was just bigger than him. Like, it just wasn't happening. Like, if he pushed me to that point, I think he knew that I wasn't going to make it easy for him. Like, I would have... Like, I wasn't just going to lay there and take it. So, like, whenever he would like try and push me or whatever, I'd give him a shove, and he would go flying into a wall or into a locker, and he's like, oh, man, damn. Like, shit, dude. So... I think he was too smart to try and fight people, but fucking Julio, yuck.
There was that kid. There was some kid in high school that I knew. If I'm not mistaken, he had a public access show that was about wrestling, and he referred to himself as RVD. And for those of you guys out there who are wrestling fans, you know that RVD is Rob Van Dam. And
wrestling.
Yeah. So this kid referred to himself as RVD, and there was another kid in our class who always fucked with him constantly. One day, RVD got a bad haircut, and he had a hat on. And the other kid knew that he was wearing the hat because he didn't want anyone to see his fucked up haircut.
Yeah.
So the other kid gets up, and he walks to the back of the class where RVD is. At this point, this sounds like a disease. He gets RVD. He goes to the back of the class, and then he tries to get the attention of a group of his friends who were in the front. He says, hey, guys, look at this. And he takes RVD's hat off. So RVD gets up. He runs after the kid. And I kid you not, with every step that he took, he groaned. Like, he went like this. Like, as he ran to the kid took his hat off, and he goes, He ran up to him, and he punches him in his stomach, and then he goes, I'm telling you, stop messing with me.
Oh, shit.
He sang. He sang. He said, I'm telling you. He sounded like Bill Cosby.
Did
Stop
he
messing
lost
with
it.
me. Yeah,
Did he hit him hard in the stomach?
Yeah, he fucking hit him
Oh,
hard.
so
man.
did they do it?
But he was emotional because you know what it is? He was building up, like it's like he was breathing in and breathing out very profoundly as he was running up to him because he was like, he got him good, and the other kid did nothing. He did nothing, so he was probably like Julio. He was probably like Julio in that sense. Oh, that was classic.
You know what? I don't
epic.
even think Julio wouldn't even done that. Something like that. He was a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, I just want to do that one.
Did the guy ever mess with him again?
No.
Why does it take that? Why do you have to hit the guy in his face?
Well, the other guy wasn't a bully. He was sort of a dork himself.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I guess he saw him as a weaker person because he always sat in the back of the class. He was a bit introverted. So he saw weakness in him, but he was wrong. He paid the price. I'm sure he remembers that moment because I do.
That shit.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the
Guy.
way I almost made a dick joke, but it fell flat.
What was it going to be? Go ahead. Broken dicks everywhere? Is that what it was going to be?
Broken dicks everywhere.
That's the name of your album.
Yeah.
That's the name of Tom's album. Hey, before we started the show, you guys know, before me and Dom start the show, you know, we shoot the breeze, we start talking shit, you know, see if anything comes up or whatever. And we came across Key and Peele, okay? I love Key and Peele. Let me not say love. I really enjoy Key and Peele. Now,
yeah,
Dom,
you don't even like him as much.
Well, look. Well, the reason why I wanted to speak about this is because you said something that was very interesting, okay? You said what about Key and Peele before the show?
I said I want them to be Chappelle's show. I want their skits to be on that caliber.
Okay.
Because if you, in case you didn't notice, after Chappelle left, because let's get back to Chappelle, by the way. Let's do that. But after he left, Comedy Central kept trying to replace him, and they never fucking got it, okay? They tried with Mencia. That was the craziest, stupidest shit. They were like, okay, all right, ethnic. All right, go, just go. Get a black guy, get a Latino guy, whoever the fuck. So they get Mencia. He did Mind of Mencia for two years, 2 seasons or some shit. And it was every skit was like, oh, I'm Mexicano. And he wasn't even like Mexican. The guy was like, and he like everything was like him just trying to talk about what it's like to be Mexican. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. It just seems so phony. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if Latinos like that show. But
I didn't.
Yeah, so they tried with that, and then they tried with a bunch of other shows. Like
one that I remember, I think, was with David Allen Greer. I think it was the Chocolate
News, right? And I'm trying to remember.
That was in 2008.
David Koechner did a show on Comedy Central called it was like these two rednecks. It was these two rednecks on on this show, and they had the Naked Trucker and T-Bone's show. Remember that?
No.
That was another one of them. They kept trying to get these sketch shows to take off. None of them ever did. I think Tosh.0 is their.
That's the one that they missed.
I don't think they missed. I'm saying that is the thing that.
Oh, wait a minute. That is on Comedy Central. Okay.
Yes,
I'm thinking about E. Okay.
I'm saying that's the show that most closely filled in those cracks that Chappelle's show left.
Yeah, but it's not the same format,
right? And it doesn't. There's no sketches. It's always like, all right, some guy hits his nuts on a fucking table, and it's like, oh, that guy's not having any more babies.
Yeah, to
be honest, Tosh's writers are way better than what I just said.
There's no replay value with
right. That's the thing. I was just thinking that because no one's like, oh, dude, you got to get season 3 DVD of Tosh.0.
No,
it's not that show. Tosh.0 is what you watch when you're eating Chinese and there's nothing else on TV.
Right.
Same as the ridiculousness. You might. I'll take Tosh.0 over ridiculousness every day.
Oh, but, absolutely. Because, well, and let's state why. Let's make it perfectly clear to the listeners, and I don't even have to get your approval for this because I know you were right. You agree with me because Tosh has actual comedic timing,
and like I said, he has good writers like
Rob Dyrdek.
He's a skater.
Yes, he's a fucking. I don't know how that ever came to.
His
be
gums
popular.
are so big, dude. His baby teeth. Have you noticed that?
Never.
Whenever he laughs. They had Larry King on that fucking show, dude.
Did they?
Do you know how uncomfortable it was?
Well, that's the point. The whole thing, the whole gag about Larry King is to make
I am
Larry
so
King,
fucking old. Are these
I'm
kids?
gonna die soon.
But I was watching Larry King on Ridiculousness, and just to see him looking from like to my right, the fucking colored fella, like to my left, some dame who fucking I don't know what the fuck she does. And I remember he asked her at some
She's
point.
with Young Money, apparently. I'm not sure what she does, but she's with Young Money.
She's a rapper.
I'm guessing she is.
She is. I know this because I looked up pictures of her, and I looked up.
Guy. Oh yeah, we know. Okay, go ahead.
And he looked. He's like, and what do you do? He points at her, and she's like,
I don't know. I comment.
But it was. You look at him, and you think about how much time has passed in his career in broadcasting. I couldn't help but think about what is going through his mind when he's looking at some guy on a giant laptop watching stuff from the internet where people hit their nuts. And they're like, come on, guys, we got to do an instant replay rewind sponsored by Doritos on that one. Oh, man, whoa, he hit his nuts again. And he's looking at the audience. Everyone's wearing this tight clothing, and no one has a belt on their pants. And he has to feel like an alien. So I was amused watching it from that standpoint.
Larry King has a sense of humor about himself.
He
so
does.
it fits. You can't have Dan Rather. You can't have Bob Costas there. You can only have Larry King, a person who's able to laugh at himself, and that's what makes him awesome in that setting. Because he doesn't belong there, but we know he doesn't belong there. And he knows it too. So it has its charm. It works, I think.
He was decent on the Norm Macdonald show. Norm Macdonald show is great, by the way. That dude is fucking hilarious.
We're totally getting away from the point
No,
you were going to bring it back to.
No, listen. I have
Back to the fucking point, right?
No, listen, okay. I'm like
Macdonald.
a rock climber, and I have my little clip thingy, my little ting, whatever the fuck. This tea must be making me hyper because I feel really hyper right now.
What sort of tea are you drinking there? Huh?
Some green tea.
Green tea.
Okay. Excuse me.
Green tea. Watching Steel Magnolias or Joy Luck Club, something of that nature.
This shit is making me sweat too. Son.
Drinking. You got your little soy in there.
No, people put
Feeling
soy in their
very,
tea. All right, I think what I'm referring to.
Put milk in your tea.
People do that.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Why would you drink tea?
You drink tea.
No, I don't.
I saw some tea in your.
That's my girlfriend's tea,
No,
sir.
it was yours. Don't fucking lie.
Not mine.
There was rose petals on it and a little teddy bear.
All right.
Also a penis on the box.
Okay, that's mine. That one's mine. Don't you? But did you take it? Don't you take my penis tea?
So, like I was saying, I have my little hook in the mountain, which is our original point, which is Key and Peele. Now I'm repelling the conversation back to that. I wanted them to be Chappelle's show. Their skits have never reached that level for me. Mm-hmm. Their skits to me always 90% of the time they run too long. They run 30% of the time too long. If the skit is 7 minutes long, it should be 4 minutes. It's always that way. I don't know. Like this Urkel sketch you like so much, it should have been like 2 minutes.
I think it worked. Okay, how did you feel about Little Homie?
Little Homie, I noticed I didn't find it as funny as you. I liked it, but it just doesn't hit me, man. I don't know what it is, because I really want to like it, and I'll get some laughs, but you're
watching it with Chappelle colored glasses.
But it's not just that, man. Problem. It's like a Chappelle skit could have gone on for 10 minutes and it was just powerful, just hitting you all the way through.
Wait. Let's not exaggerate this.
Okay,
not all
all right.
of Chappelle's skits were fucking. I think this is a classic case of
it ended too early.
It went before its time.
Okay.
And now it's so praised because I think that if the Chappelle show was a 9, I think the Key and Peele show should at least be considered
a 6, which is what it is.
6.5.
All right, I'll give you your stupid 0.5. I'll give you your dumb
0.5.
half a point. Take that shit.
Come on, give me that one right there.
But
I think it's up there, and I'll give you the reason why. I think Jordan Peele is just as comedically talented as Dave Chappelle.
And he's the funny one. He's
the dark skinned one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other guy, the bald guy, he's talented too.
Keegan Michael Key is his name.
Yes. It's not to say that he's not funny, but Peele to me is the star of the show because just watching him do a female character, which I never find funny, by the way. I never find it funny when a man puts on a dress and acts like a female.
Dude, what about Bobby Lee? Dude, Bobby Lee was great at everything, but like...
Who's Bobby? Oh, the Asian guy?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's funny. Next.
What?
No, Bobby Lee's not funny.
You didn't watch Mad TV, though, way back?
Yeah, I did, but Bobby Lee's not funny.
I'm gonna do my
He's
Bobby
not
Lee.
funny, Dom!
I'm gonna do my Bobby Lee impression.
All right, get it
when
on.
you tell him...
What do you mean, bro? What do you mean I'm not fucking funny, man? You can go fuck yourself. You know what, man? You know how hard I work at this shit?
I can't wait to snore on your next point that you make.
I cannot take it. I can't. He is not funny. He is just not funny. Okay, but look. But what I'm saying is it's not to say that Key isn't funny. It's that Peele is so... He's so well versed that it makes Key look one-dimensional, even though Key is very gifted himself. And that's why I think that the show should at least be a 6.5 if the Chappelle Show is 9. Now, one complaint that I do have about the show is that they don't do this as much as they used to, but they do sort of... They depend on race a little too much. And it's not as heavy-handed as it used to be. In fact, something that they're doing now is I think it's a play off of what they would do on Fargo that they were featured on.
Oh, dude, they were great. Well, all right. They were good in Fargo. I almost said great. But.
Okay, but now they do the same thing on the show. If you've ever watched, have you watched one episode this season?
No,
Right.
You're talking.
Right, you're talking shit, but you haven't seen it. No, it's okay. Keep talking. Okay.
Shut up. What did they?
Listen.
Do?
So what they do now is there's no more intro like the way they used to do it. It kind of sounds like it would be an intro for like Sons of Anarchy or some shit like that. But anyway, they're driving down an endless road and they're just having nonsensical conversations that have no ending or beginning. You just come in the middle of it and it's like, hey, how do you think a sticker, is able to stick on the wall? I mean, like, that's easy because they put adhesive on it or whatever the fuck. And they just have a stupid conversation for like 2 minutes. It doesn't really have a punchline to it. It's just supposed to leave you with this kind of like, oh, okay. Like it sort of just serves as a break in between all the skits. They don't do what they used to.
Is it in front of an audience?
No. They don't do that anymore. They don't.
Where are they when they're doing this?
They're on this. I guess it's more cost effective because maybe the budget of the show isn't as much as it used to be because maybe before they got these venues and they would get people to come there and they would introduce the shows that way, and it would seem to be like it's more cost effective to just film an hour worth of nonsensical conversation and you could split that up for every episode of the season. I figure maybe that's what it is. Maybe the show just has a smaller budget, but I like it because I think it's a play off of what they did in Fargo, because obviously you've seen Fargo and the sort of conversations that they would have.
Yeah.
Sort of those, Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction sort of dialogues.
Were you God, I'm such a derailer. I think we both are. I was just about to bounce the fucking whole thing to...
Where were you going to bounce it?
I'm going to stop being meta.
No, listen. The very nature of if the Double D's podcast was an animal, you know what we would be?
A lizard?
No. If the Double D's podcast was an animal, it would be a fish, sir. We just keep swimming. Keep swimming.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just keep swimming.
Where
do you want to swim?
True Detective, okay?
Okay.
They've casted for the new season.
Yes, I heard about that. Was it
Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell?
I will not be watching.
You will.
No, I didn't watch the other one.
You asshole. Why wouldn't you?
Because I was waiting on it to pile up and...
Yeah, now it's piled up, and what'd you do? Nothing.
Well, I'm not going to watch it now with these two fucking mooks.
I'm not even talking about this. Watch the recent season. That shit was amazing, dude. Matthew McConaughey, like, you know he's in his golden period. He's in his... he's knocking that shit out of the park every time now. Mm-hmm. Woody Harrelson, awesome. Cheating husband.
That's
great
redundant.
shit.
Every husband cheats.
I mean, you don't like detective shit?
No, I just made a bad joke. It just went over your head.
No, but I'm saying in general.
Detective stuff?
Yeah.
I don't get heavily into detective stuff, no, because I mean, when I look at the movies that I enjoy, I never really got into a lot of whodunit sort of things. I
like the character. I mean,
never liked the crime shows.
I'm never that concerned with who did it. Like, that's not it for me. Like, I like film noir type characters, like the anti-hero, the guy who's he's a chain smoker, he's an alcoholic, and he's always willing to bend the rules to get whatever the fuck he wants. He has dysfunctional relationships with women. He's just like some piece of shit guy who's really good at solving mysteries. That character is what I'm interested in seeing. So
you like seeing flawed characters.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. But that's also the phase.
Let me ask you a question. Well, let me ask you a question because we're fishes. Do you like seeing flawed characters because you feel that seeing somebody who's very virtuous and very just clean cut, is it like watching too much of reality, or you feel like it's watching too much of fiction? Do you think it's far from the truth,
wow.
or
That's a really good question.
too truthful?
It's way too far from the truth.
Okay.
The best person on this planet has stuff that's going on with them that's wrong. Even if we get someone who's pretty virtuous and is like some Mother Teresa person, even if they don't have anything that's wrong, don't have anything going on with them, I mean, they'd probably be really boring in a story. Excuse me. I mean, you gotta, but we're going through that phase though, where at some point it was really cool for a really long time. In fact, it was cool to have stories where people were really awesome at everything and they were good and righteous. We're not in that phase now. Whatever it is we've been going through, and it's not that recent either. Like, it's been the past few decades, I believe, because I think it's just becoming a little more mainstream now. I was talking to a guy about 70s cinema and how you got a bunch of like pre-Scorsese even. I mean, when he came out, like, you get shit like, look at Robert De Niro and like Pacino's careers, like all that Taxi Driver shit, like that was in the human consciousness. I think we were just I think we've been craving weird, flawed characters for a while now. Like, if you look at the trend of how cinema's been changing, I could pick out a shit ton of movies since the 70s. I have characters who are just kind of fucked up. On the flip side, though, I would say that in the 90s, we did seem to have a revival of characters who were really good at everything. Like, these movies where people were like spinning around and leaves were falling around them and they were sort of like laughing.
Right, the optimistic movies.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Good Will Hunting sort of felt like that to me.
Felt like a very positive movie?
Yeah, even though like those characters were sort of flawed, but you gotta admit that there's a quality to those movies. That there's a all those movies that took place in Boston where people were like I'll put it this way: in the 90s, everyone was like laughing or crying in the rain, all that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I'm thinking about right now is Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, exactly. And Andy Dufresne made it out.
Came out clean.
And he was that was pretty good. Nablaze. How absurd would it be if we got fucking Morgan Freeman on this dumb show? If we somehow are able to pull that shit off.
Hey, you never know. Maybe in the future. Maybe somewhere in the future.
Maybe someday.
They'll be dead by then.
Yeah.
They'll probably be dead. But okay, my frame of thinking would be, I guess you wouldn't want to see too many characters that are so clean because it's almost like you don't learn anything from them.
Right.
You learn nothing from someone who isn't flawed at all. And I think that the basic thing about enjoying anything is having it relate to you. And even if a person is virtuous from the outside, you rarely look at your own actions as the right thing. Everybody's unsure about themselves. Everybody thinks
that's
that they're
not true, man.
Well, look, everybody
that's
thinks
really
that
not true at all.
You think so? So you're
no. Are you saying me personally? That's correct for me, but I'm saying if you're looking at humans in general, that is so incorrect.
That most people are unsure of themselves.
I think people are unsure of themselves, but I think a lot of people think that what they're doing is the right thing, or it feels good, or I mean, just consider like a very religious person, for instance. Like they can justify doing a lot of things and say that it's okay and convince themselves that it's right. I think the majority of the planet is religious, right?
I don't know about that. The majority?
Really? You don't think so?
I can't speak for most of the planet, but I'm
the majority.
But I'm pretty sure in this country, I don't think it's the majority.
Really?
Well, it depends what you mean by religious.
Right, because the majority of the people in this country will subscribe to a religion and say that I'm Christian, but when you ask them to what degree, the majority probably wouldn't say that they go to church every week and they like they'll believe in Jesus, but they're not going to be like, God damn it, I just feel it in my bones. I'm going to fucking go to heaven when I die. Like that sort of conviction.
Well, what I mean is this. It's not to say that most people don't believe in what they do, but throughout most of your day, you question what you do. I mean, it's all a part of developing and improving yourself as a human being, is reevaluating what you do and being unsure about what you've done at the moment. And I guess only time will tell what that decision really means. So what I mean by when you watch a character that has no flaws or anything, to me it would seem is it's just unrealistic. It's really unrealistic because, well, I mean, if when you're looking at somebody's life from the outside looking in, I guess you could see people because most of the times we compare, the little bit that we see of most people, we compare them to ourselves.
Right.
You know, appearances are never what they seem.
And we just happen to be the type of people who are very open about expressing when something confuses us and when we're trying to work on something,
right?
And when we're unsure of ourselves. I mean, we're fucking doing a show where we're just broadcasting this to the fucking universe, but there are a lot of people in my personal life who aren't like that, who aren't anywhere near as open as when they're unsure about things. And I've noticed with myself that I'll interpret that as them not being unsure. Does that make any sense?
You just made me unsure about your point.
Okay.
I'm unsure now.
We're walking on the edge of sounding like some two assholes in a fucking coffee shop. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Or dreads hanging from our face. You walk into the shop and like, ugh.
Why is it that whatever a human being does, it somehow becomes douchier when it's done in a coffee shop? If we were having this conversation in a McDonald's, maybe we're like two sensible human beings. But since it's in a coffee shop, it's pretentious. Why is that? Why is a coffee shop the fucking...
Because you're like worried about your health. It's just sort of... Yeah, you're like... You have your Mac laptop and you're spending more money. Maybe that's what it is. Is that what it is? I don't know.
That might be that might be it. Maybe that's it because you
McDonald's
go buy coffee at a Starbucks, it's gonna cost you like $6. I don't buy coffee, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 70 cents, $1. It's like
so it's ridiculous.
It's insane, man.
I don't know what it is.
But okay, take a person like me, like oversharing their flaws or whatever they're uncomfortable about, blah blah blah. You assume that I have this understanding that I'm flawed.
Okay.
If I didn't share that, that's the kind of person I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people don't share that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, they won't say, I'm concerned about this about myself. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Whether or not they think that's admitting that they're weak or like they didn't grow up thinking that sort of way, or they're not self-aware. What I'm saying is, when a person doesn't admit those sorts of things, sometimes I interpret that as that person not being self-aware or not being willing to change, or they think that what they're doing is right.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's a symptom of self-awareness. You thinking about your flaws and what you can work on and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But back to really good characters. I'm thinking about. I usually equate this or use war as a way to understand why we're into flawed characters and sort of like dark scenarios where people are dealing with horrible shit. Someone said, I read somewhere that like after World War II, no one was painting, like it was considered really kitsch or what's another good word?
Taboo.
Not taboo. It was just really. People weren't doing ultra realistic paintings of people glowing and stuff like that, like ultra religious art. People were starting to do stuff like warped people with their heads melting off and stuff like that. Like if you just look at art post 1900s, like from any group of painters, like it gets really abstract, it gets fucking crazy. And you also think about god damn, I don't know if I can link these two things. Look at the way we publicized and made propaganda for World War II versus the Vietnam War.
The art that we used to...
No. What I'm saying is just like the footage of people like in World War II where we were just, it was like our boys over in fucking Normandy, like
make sure you're safe out there, boys, and come home safe.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, great, but like
so they can play baseball.
Right, we didn't talk about PTSD. We didn't talk about the horrors of having to shoot someone in the face, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm sure another reason that wasn't the case is because it was so clear who our enemy was, and World War II wasn't the Vietnam War. It's just completely different shit. But like compare that to the Vietnam War, like the footage of people getting their shit blown off, guys, their friends dying, like people, everyone just like a lot of people ODing on heroin over there and stuff like
TV, man, it's the TV.
Yeah, but just look.
People didn't have TVs, but World War II, what was that? That was like in the 40s when it ended.
Yeah,
I mean, you had TVs beginning of the 50s, maybe? When did TV get implemented?
I don't know, dude. I guess.
Let's see. Give me a second.
I'm fucking bouncing all around my argument today, though. I'm trying to reel that shit back in. But, I think...
Okay. Yeah. During the 50s, right.
So I think we can draw
Late
some
50s.
parallels between thinking that soldiers are these people who are like these shining beacons and they come home with no issues, by the way, even though they've killed overseas. And we expect them to come back and be totally normal.
Well, when you've killed in different zip codes, it doesn't count. It's almost like cheating.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what it is.
That's what they say.
Yeah, come back and it's normal. But yeah, I mean, and that's how we get movies like The Deer Hunter. Like,
what can you say about a soldier who goes overseas? And I've heard stories about this. Soldiers go overseas and then they get upset at the country because they find out that the war, what it was really about.
That's some sad.
But it's
shit,
like,
man.
dude, you mean to tell me that you didn't do solid research or just open up a history book and
Look, this is you're. I think this is just like I was saying before. You're trying to open up that whatever document in something in a program that doesn't accept that again. You're trying to use your brain.
Wait a minute. Wait. Just to clarify, I agree with you with the thing that we were saying about when people recording each other in rooms. But when it comes to knowledge and research, I wouldn't exactly consider myself to be at the highest peak of that.
Okay,
I'm just
but
saying when
I'm
you make
saying-
I'm just saying when you make a commitment to sign your life away to a cause that you don't even really understand the real reasoning behind it. You just see the surface level and basically how people are going to perceive you for going overseas because we jerk off soldiers in this country. And I mean, and rightfully so. And I'm not saying that people that go overseas shouldn't be given credit. Hey, look, if you decide to say if you put a cause ahead of yourself, then you're understanding that there's something in this world more important than you. That's very selfless.
Yeah,
that's extremely selfless. But I'm just saying that if you go off into the military and you see that most people there are just there to collect a fucking pension. Nobody really gives a shit about being patriotic. Nobody gives a shit about saving a couple of fucking I don't know, fucking somebody who's fucking held captive in Malaysia, wherever the fuck they hold these people who for whatever reason they decide to. Well, who was that guy years ago? And I know this has happened a number of times.
The guy with the beard who ended up joining the Taliban.
No, he wasn't joining the Taliban. I believe he was a camera person. I think maybe he was a journalist, an independent journalist, and he went out there and there was this famous video, I think in 2003, of him getting his head cut off. And that was just, I don't know what leads you to go over there. But whatever, you find out that your contemporaries really don't care about the cause, and then you look back and you do your history and you really learn what the wars are about today, and now you're upset and now you want to revolt against the United States government. It's like it's a bit too late for that, son. It's a bit too late.
I'm just saying it's asking a lot for these kids who join the military. They're like 19, man. They'll take you in when you're, I think, maybe 18. They might take you in when you're that age. And you get a young, fresh mind, some dude who wants to get the fuck out of bumfuck Virginia or wherever. And, like, there are a lot of kids who are, like, they feel like that's their only way out of their small town. They come back and have a decent amount of money to go to school. Everyone else in their town is just, like, you graduate high school, you just work at a fucking bar, you may go to a community college and just go work at a mechanic shop or whatever. They feel like that's a way out for and
then especially when you see these army commercials that look like movie trailers.
Exactly, man. And I was talking to a friend about all this Call of Duty shit. Don't take this where I think you're gonna take it.
We're gonna put our tinfoil hats on right now.
I love to hate that franchise, but I'm willing to bet that a really good portion of the kids joining the military have really loved first person shooters, and they think that life is somehow like a video game.
Okay, I thought you were taking this somewhere else. Okay,
no, dude, the fucking games like it's like a video game over there. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm sure there's a good part of it.
Yeah, guys who think that it's, oh, dude, I'm going to be a sniper. And what is their knowledge of sniping? From movies and video games.
Hurt Locker.
That's all they fucking know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'll give Hurt Locker I'll give him credit for having that one of the best sniping scenes I've seen in a movie, because the guy had a fucking spotter. And they had to adjust for wind, and it wasn't glamorous. And they're sitting there sweating, and they're like, okay. 2 degrees left. He's just sitting there reloading, and
it was just patience.
Yeah,
the
like,
only thing that got him through that.
Like, the reality of being a sniper is not like the stupid Sniper Elite game on PS3, which I really want to play. But yeah, okay. What I'm saying is these kids, like, you're just 19, man. You're not gonna research this shit. You don't have any of this wisdom. Like, you haven't lived your life enough to make a decision like that.
I disagree.
It's like, can they really grasp though how?
I strongly disagree. If you have it in you to see what it's all about, then you had it in you to see what it was before you went in there. Because there's a lot of people who are numb. There's a lot of people who just be numb to the whole experience, and they'll just come home. And hey, look, there's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of dudes who come, they come into the city and they've got all their combat clothes on. And I always love the reaction that people give them when they're on the train. Some
like crying and like
no, some people tend to do corny stuff when they see soldiers.
Well, they'll salute.
They'll salute them, which I think is fine if you have a military background.
Yeah,
you see another Marine.
I think it's so douchey. I think as for civilians,
you see another Marine, and then, hoorah, you say some stupid shit, simplify, that's fine. But then if it's just like some regular, just beer guzzling fat fuck who just sits home all day and does nothing, and he's like, well, thank you what you've done for this country. Yeah, based on what information that you've been watching on the fucking news 24 hours a day and that you live through. Like, I have no patience for that. So I've seen that a number of times. But there's also the sense of accomplishment, and you don't see what's right in front of you. So you're not going to see the bullshit because everybody's revering you as this hero. Why would you see the military for what it is when you come home and everybody gives you that adulation? Everybody gives you that, like, hey, man, like, what you're doing is great. Like, and plus you're getting your money. How much we love money here. So that's it with the security that you have when you go into the military, with the congratulations that you get when you were possibly just some guy mopping up, fucking gyms and just like, pushing papers. Either way, you're gonna be looked at as this great fucking superhero. So you make your money, you go through the system, and you shut the fuck up. But I feel that the person who sees it for what it is, and some of these people that you see online, like, oh, I've been in the military.
I think a lot of them do, actually, man.
What was that?
I think a lot of them do see it for what it is, like,
and just look the other way.
No. I don't think there's any looking the other way. Like, I have a veteran friend who told me, like, his opinion of what it was going to be like versus going in there, like, it was completely different. And he saw it. He saw it for what it actually was when he was over there. And, like, not that he's like ungrateful for I mean, they've treated him decently when he came back, but like he has a very like full, insightful look on what that shit was versus what he thought it was. Mm-hmm. And he's not like furious, like posting shit online, going crazy, but everyone processes that stuff differently. And I'll also say that I can't possibly know what that feels like being over there. Like having people shoot at you and shit, like being stressed out like all day. I mean,
by the way, to live in this country is to understand that whatever you watch on the news, it's meant to keep you in fear. Much like you got with
including Colbert.
I hate Colbert. We've spoken about that before. Much like the Ebola stuff, but that's obviously a different topic. But the feeling that you get when you voice your opinions about the military, and then it's like, oh, but they keep you safe and everything, and to some extent that might be true. But make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, we are the superpower we're the big swinging dick on planet Earth, okay? We're the big swinging dick, okay? So don't ever buy into this thing where another country is so much of a threat when obviously if you do your research, you always find out that at some point we somehow aided them, and, it always turns out to be that way. And, sometimes certain countries don't want to give up their resources, or they don't want to give up certain territories, so we turn them into we turn them into the enemy and we just turn on them. So don't ever buy into this notion. You shouldn't ever speak out against what you see as phony, what you see before you, when even the military complex, it's a lot of it is just a bunch of shit. A lot of it is just a bunch of shit. So you're living in this country and you have every right to voice your opinion, and it's not this thing where it's like you can't speak because they protect you, like sort of the Jack Nicholson Few Good Men thing, the man that sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide type shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh no,
scene,
amazing,
by the way.
amazing.
Like that. It's like and you can just see the hate in that dude's face. Like, oh my god.
Son, we have walls, and those walls have to be protected by men with guns. All that type of shit. What I was gonna lead into that was this, and Dom mentioned earlier that I had this gripe with a fucking Burger King commercial that I saw. And it's just these real subtle things, man. These little subtle things that happen in commercials now. And I know Dom had a complaint about a commercial the other day, and now I got a fucking complaint. All right, it's a Burger King commercial, and if some of you have seen it, it's a Burger King commercial where they're talking about some pulled pork product, right?
I hate her.
They're outside, and it's not Burger King, it's Wendy's.
It's like he must have forgot.
It's the Wendy's girl who, I think she's hot, by the way. I think the Wendy's chick is hot. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Like. Yeah, do you know how smelly her shits must be? Like she must smell like her pores. Like she must smell awful just from like that much shit going through her body.
Just consuming nitrates.
But go ahead. Wendy's commercial.
So the Wendy's commercial. So the setting is the Wendy's girl, and you've got like 3 or 4 friends. Amongst these 3 or 4 friends, there's one friend, and they do something very subtle in the commercial, and I want you to pay attention. The friend is at the pulled pork place, and I guess he's supposed to play the role of the know-it-all friend, right? So he's got his glasses on, and I guess they're painting him out to be like this pseudo-intellectual guy. So he's got the burger in his hand, and then he goes, the first rule about a pulled pork place. And then he's pointing at the signs, and, a hat, a hat on the logo, that's a check, whatever. Before he starts his little pulled pork speech, the Wendy's girl and another guy in the group, they sort of look at each other like, oh, he's going to start talking his shit again. Right. It implies that they talk shit about this person. That's very interesting now with a commercial where you get that one look that gives you context that Wendy's talks about this guy behind his back to the other guy.
And she's blowing him with her fucking awful burger mouth. fucking meat. Her mouth is like fucking ground beef on the inside.
So eventually you get to the point where by whatever reason he ends up getting his mouth shut because somehow Wendy's because he didn't marvel at the greatness of the corporation of Wendy's, and maybe he should have kept his mouth shut at the beginning of the commercial and just sort of eaten the burger. But that's where my problem lies about the commercial. And it's just a little microscopic
The part that
thing.
they looked at when they looked at each other, like here he goes again?
Not the part, no, the part where they looked at each other, I just think that was funny. I just think it's funny because it obviously implies within the commercial that they talk shit about him. And it's like, oh, there he goes again. But no, the part that you have to pay attention to, it's the fact that this guy had just a stupid observation that he has, not putting any value to it, not necessarily attaching himself to it, but it's just a point that he wanted to make, and he said, oh, the first rule about, blah, 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 blah. But by the end of the video, by the end of the commercial, he ends up getting his mouth shut by the awesomeness of what Wendy's is.
No, who does it? Like, does he, is it self-imposed? Like, he eats the burger, and he's like, wow, I guess. Like,
Yes. He, I believe what it was he was pointing at another place that sold pulled pork, and he was saying that their stuff is better because he's pointing at the fact that the logo has on a hat. It's a pig. That's another check. That all makes up a great barbecue place. So when he bites into the Wendy's burger, he finds out, oh, I'm stupid as fuck. Just let me shut up and keep eating my burger. And that's where the problem, that's where it lies, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the fact that don't have any independent thoughts whatsoever in this commercial. Just shut up and eat your burger. Or else, you know what? or else people will mock you. And by the end of the commercial, you will just once again end up sucking that big corporate cock because you know nothing. You're just a consumer. Just eat the fucking burger.
Damn,
I'm done.
I mean, maybe that's subliminally what they... I mean, because everything in the commercial makes you not want... Is this guy attractive? No. This is important. It was, you know...
Is he placed in the...
The
only thing that I can remember about the guy, is that he had glasses, he had dark hair. If I'm not mistaken, he had a beard.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, like,
he would work at a Mac
imagine
store.
they have cast as some fucking Ryan Gosling motherfucker. Then the person watching the commercial might not have even cared that he got his mouth shut. Like they probably want. They don't want. What I'm getting at is they don't want you to be that guy. They want you to look at that guy and be like, he's bad. The other guys are good. They're the good guys. He's the bad guy in this commercial. Because in the beginning they roll their eyes at him. In the end, he's made fun of, or he's made to be a fool. So I'm just wondering how he looks. So like, I'm wondering if they're just trying to make you not relate to this guy in every way possible.
I tried to look for the video online and I wasn't able to find it. But next time I see it, I will keep an eye out for it. You should keep an eye out for it too. I mean, I know it's hard to run into these commercials because we just fast forward through stuff. But once again, when I'm commenting on this isn't something that I'm upset about. This isn't something that I'm concerned about. But this is just what I'm telling you. It's just those little small nuggets of control that the TV sends to you. Okay, and this isn't conspiracy theory stuff. This is just how the advertisements are triggered. It's just shut up and be a consumer and just spend as much money as possible. You know, or maybe the message is forget about small business. Forget about small business and just stick to the names that you know. You know what I'm saying? Which overall, it all covers the same sort of umbrella. You know, you say, forget about small business. It basically says, forget about independent thought. Forget about the small things and stick to the big things that we all know, which is Wendy's, which is the sandwich that you're about to bite into and shut your mouth about.
Or they could be saying, we know you like this other place, but try this other shit and you're going to like it. Which is not true, by the way. You're not gonna like it more than that fucking other place that like grinds all its meat and fucking buys it from some local establishment. But like they're saying it's all fiction anyway, man. The whole thing is it's not real. Like there's a reason why a good like mom and pop place that's been around for years. There's a reason that they don't have all these commercials and shit telling you how great their product is, like and having like a bunch of photos of it that's not realistic because they know all you have to do is go in and eat it. They don't have to tell you all this other shit.
Right.
Assholes.
Absolutely.
Dude, I had the best fucking burger at this place called Jeepney in Manhattan. Have you heard of it?
Jeepney.
Jeepney. It's a Filipino place. No. It's this burger where it's like they it's like this ground beef and pork in a patty, right? And then on top of that, it's a mini, like it's like a ground sausage patty. On top of that, pork and beef concoction, and then there's a fried egg on top of that, and then the bun has like some special chipotle mayo on it, and it has banana ketchup in there. Have you heard of banana ketchup?
Yes, I have.
It's good, man.
But I've never had it.
And they had some fries that were made of like, it wasn't yuca, but it's like something in the yuca family, softer than yuca. Fucking sweet. It's like a sweet potato. Dude, that shit was incredible. A little pricey, but we got to go there next time, man.
Yeah, you told me about the other place. I think I have the card up on the fridge there.
We got to go to Momofuku. We got to get all these places. I love it. I love New York.
Okay, all right, sir. So we have your order here.
Yeah, bring it on,
right
bring it on.
here.
Yeah.
We have
fucking stop about the appetizer.
Spaghetti.
Go ahead, yeah.
Right, we have the spaghetti right there. Okay. We have a burger deluxe with fries right there.
Okay.
Pass me the ravioli with veggies.
Yeah, good. All right.
right there. Fettuccine.
Yeah. Wait. I asked for extra cheese on that. Did you get that, buddy? You get the extra cheese?
I did not get the extra cheese, but I will go back. Go back and get him the cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
Get him the cheese.
All right. Go on, dude.
Okay, now we have you wanted the breadsticks. The breadsticks are
extra
here
toast.
along
I
with
want
the
extra toast, like firm, right?
They
You got
are
me, buddy.
extra
You know
toasted,
me. You know me, buddy.
They are mozzarella sticks.
Keep going.
Mozzarella sticks right there. A few human legs with garlic on them.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, okay.
And the drinks. I had a few drinks too. Yeah, the drinks.
A few drinks. All right, so we have a banana daiquiri.
Yeah, but that one too. All right, go ahead.
An Incredible Hulk.
All right, yeah, that what are those?
Okay. By the way, it's about 11 in the morning. I don't even know why you're drinking an Incredible Hulk.
Look, I didn't ask you what fucking time it was. I asked what was next. All right, let's keep going, buddy.
All right. Can you at least release me from the shackles? Because you held me captive for like a week now, sir.